Hey, hey, welcome again. We've got another episode of Cardboard Conversations here on Cardboard Odysseys. Thank you for joining us out there in the audience. And thank you, Bob, for putting up with me for another episode.
Hey, man, glad to be here. Glad you're here.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, let's dive right into it. You matched up so well to your background, it just drew my eye right to it. Into the Inklands is now finally out, isn't it? So
It is.
have you
This is
actually...
release weekend. This is release weekend, I believe. The official release weekend.
Oh, wow. Hey, Michael.
I call my LGS, or as Moxman says, my local LGS.
Local LGS. Yeah, I'd laugh at that every time too.
Well, it's just like my brother saying frustrated. I'm like, no, there's an R there. But he's not going to start until the end of the month with like organized play. So it's starting to take hold, a little, slowly but surely. But it just kind of highlights to me, like it really reinforces my initial thoughts about it needs time to breathe. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that they've really. I'm impressed with Ravensburger with their response so far with the product. I feel it's very responsible. They've already started putting sealing, the sealed packaging, and that's not even enough. You even heard Matt say, "Oh, well, they should have done it in the first place." Well, they can't go back and rewind the hands of time, but they reacted to what the public asked for, and now they have the shrink wrap on the boxes. And to me, that's pretty rapid. I mean, they've been out like 6 months, right?
Yeah,
the game started 6 months ago, folks. Chill.
Cosmic says he is also an MTG outlaw, but he's fairly unrelevant.
I don't know why you would say you're unrelevant. You're all over the place, Cosmic Seeds, and that's good. It's without a public, without people, showing up to these streams and participating in the audiences and watching these things. There is no YouTube for Magic, right? There is no YouTube for Lorcana. We have nothing. We have nobody to talk to without an audience. So it's not, you're far from irrelevant. But as I was saying, I'm starting to entertain the time frame, and this is no secret. I've been saying it on this channel since before launch that I'm not looking to pick up the cards, beyond sealed, until the spring time frame. So I'm already starting, I've got my cart full over at TCG Player. I'm already starting to see the singles after they've already bottomed out and starting to come back up again. I'm very aware that this would be the time if they don't reprint, if they don't make another print wave of the first chapter, somewhat of a heated topic here at Cardboard Odysseys. Behind the scenes, we've been sort of bickering back and forth and digging into statements and claims and whatnot. And, I did some digging and I couldn't find where they said they're going to do any more reprints. There's a Reddit page that says they say that Ravensburger is ready to keep reprinting, but I couldn't find that anywhere in their Twitter feed or any place publicly announced. So I don't know that they intend to print any more of it. They might, and if they do, I would expect prices to fall again. However, fast forward 5 years from now, they're going to go up, right? If they don't do like Magic and reprint the shit out of things. So if you want your full set, and I'm looking at getting play sets, and of course I'm missing, lots of the high dollar cards for that 4 of each kind of thing. And even at that, it's like about $520 to complete my play set, 4 of each.
No, that's not bad.
That's not terrible at all, because that's what the price of 2 boxes, and there's no way I'm completing the set.
How many different cards is it? Is that like 200 different cards?
Oh, in the set, 204.
204.
So I'm just saying, this is a time, folks, to start doing your homework, do your due diligence. If you have an interest in like collecting a full set or 4 of anything, I think now is the time to start watching the prices. I think we've gone through the extra releases, and now things are starting to climb back up. It was the box prices that kind of clued me into it. That I knew that the box prices would drop, and then people are going to buy them, and then they're going to open product, and they're going to hunt for those enchanted foils.
No,
which,
that's
no offense, I would not hunt enchanted foils. That's a fool's errand. Just like
yeah.
hunting serialized cards. You're going to spend way more,
Yeah.
in all likelihood,
You can just buy
opening
one. Yeah.
boxes
Yeah.
and getting, taking the
Mm,
shorts and losing 30 to 80% of your value
yeah.
rather than just go out and buy the damn thing.
Mm,
But I'm saying this is a time frame. I said that I was waiting until, 6 to 9 months after release
mm.
to see what happens, let the extra reprints come out, let people open them up. I actually expected more boxes to hit the market. But the best I can tell, only one significant reprint wave ever came out, and that was back in December. And it dropped the boxes all the way down to 159, and they're already back up. I'm seeing them bounce around between like 220 and 250. So, it's the time, like, this is where the arbitrage settles in, and it's the time, if you want them, I would consider starting to do your homework. Don't take Bob's advice, because they could come out with another giant print wave and totally crash the market. That's what they said they would do.
Mm.
But you can see it like that. For example, that Elsa, the enchanted foil. Can you look at the price history on it? And this is what I mean. Like, do like a 6 month to a year. Okay, you see where the bottom of the dip was, and now we're climbing all the way back up again. And because it's probably the most desired, like, openable card in Disney's repertoire, it's the most desired, so it's going to be affected the fastest.
And
But there are other cards
sales too. I mean, this is all from this past week, and I mean, they're selling.
People buy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can look at other cards that like, if we go back and look at like Tinkerbell and the other desired cards. I mean, you played on Pixelborn, right? You know the cards.
Yeah.
But if you go, like, not the enchanted foils, but if you just go to like the regular legendaries, like, even look at that one, right? It dropped. I wish I'd have picked it up. I think it was down around 25 at one point. Yeah. See, if you look back, there was like a $25-ish point.
Yeah.
28. I need 3 copies of that. But you can see it's already starting to make noise of getting back up there. And so this is what I'm saying. Don't be shocked. Like, if you see it go up again back to like 30, 50, and they don't reprint it, it's just going to keep going up.
So Coach's Magic says he's debating buying another first chapter box to keep sealed for a while. Can get it for $157 with a discount.
Ooh.
Well, we're seeing $242 right now is the going price on TCG Player. So yeah, as long as you feel confident and comfortable with what you're, paying into as far as the hobby of purchasing Magic, Magic and Lorcana, sealed boxes. That seems like a very fair price. But then again, you've got to be your own financial advisor.
Coach, not a chance in hell. I'm not going to waste the F-bomb this early in the stream, but I only have 2 troves. I ordered 10. I only got 2. That's never going to happen. Never. I'll open M30 before I open those troves. But what I'm saying is I'm watching. I honestly, I would, but that's just me, Coach. But I have like a case and 3 loose boxes sealed. So I'm happy with my position. I got a couple of troves. I got, I don't have a tremendous amount of Lorcana, but I have enough to make me happy.
Right. Yeah.
But again, what I'm saying is this is the time period, folks, that we talk about when you're watching it and buying in the dip and trying to time it and all that stuff. It's impossible, right? Because the company could do anything. They could come out and, who knows? Maybe they have a mega boatload of more the first chapter to dump on the market.
Just hang it out on the pallet. Yeah.
They have said a long time ago, the last reference I could find was in August of last year when, the scalping was just extreme and the product could not exist in the stores in your local LGS. I think it's still hard to find it in Walmart for any part of the product, but it's now starting to exist in your game stores. They're now starting to hold leagues and tournaments, and this is the healthy part for the game. Again, Coach, I can't advise on that. All I can say is that I would myself. I'm not advising any. All this is piss away money. If this is money you wouldn't mind going, and would you rather drop $180 in a slot machine or in a bunch of drinks on a Friday night going out with the gang, or would you rather have a box of Disney Lorcana? That's sort of in my head how I view purchasing these things, right? So again, this is the time frame, and I was talking with Pat about it. Like, I literally just loaded up my cart. I'm going to continue to like reprice it in TCG Player, all the cards I need. And when I see that average value goes up, it's at like 522 right now for the cards I have earmarked that I need. If I see that starting on this upward trend and it gets, starts getting to an uncomfortable level, which will probably be about another $20, $30 in aggregate for those cards moving up, then I'll probably pull the trigger so I'm not regretting it. And, instead of buying $520 worth of cards now, and then it gets to the end of summer and it's like $1,000 for the same bunch of cards.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
that would chap my ass. I don't know that it can go much lower than $520 is what I'm saying. So, as far as sealed, I think sealed is almost a fool's errand at this point for any TCG, because let's say that they reprint all the valuable cards, just like, they follow in the same horrible footsteps of Magic, and they reprint them.
Yeah, they start doing a master series, something like that, and or in just another set, they just have a slot, start doing something like the list, or featuring, a specialty type of card that comes in, special guest slot or something like that. Just a way that, certainly people will want to get into it. It's all the best cards. I mean, it's understandably enticing from a buyer's aspect. But I think that's also one of the most damaging things that they do in a lot of trading card games. It makes it less collectible, because
and that's just the problem, right? It's like everybody, in the modern era, like, look, Magic was a fantastic steward, and even Hasbro was for a long time of it. They understood the product and the dynamics of the collectible card world. Right. Yeah. And then the unfortunate thing happened with, and I'm going to call it unfortunate, with the COVID era. And, you had this massive spike, which brought in all the Timmies and the speculators, and it took the healthy ecosystem that existed at a slow, steady growth rate and just injected cocaine into it. Right. It just,
I think this is all hell. I mean, this is a great example of that in a recent set from Fallout, Magic Gathering crossover here, is hype. People realizing that, like, oh no, this might not be as, hype. The reality might not be as much as the hype makes it seem to be. People probably offloading product, get as much as they can for it, release, and now it's just going to crash.
Well, and answer me this. Show me one posting from WotC saying that they're not going to have another printing of this.
Oh, right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, same thing for Doctor Who. I think that there was a lot of excitement for that, and that we will probably see a very similar drop-off in those boxes. Yeah, now it's just in that little bit of a rebound area now. The big hype cycle, release, and then life afterwards.
I am very, very, like, I got 0.0. I'm not a fall. I've never played Fallout, and it's not that I'm like, I don't poo-poo on Doctor Who. I don't poo-poo. I didn't buy any of that. I don't poo-poo on Fallout, but it feels,
actively dislike Doctor Who.
it feels very off. The way that these products are being rolled out and the hype that goes into them, and it just, as far as Magic cards go, it's like Magic has conditioned me in the last few years, actually, since, like, I keep hitting this gong about the fireside chat, but that was really what opened my eyes to all of this, and I have been conditioned since to have patience and wait to see where things go. No, and it seems like everything in the last 5 years, if you had just waited 2 years to buy it, you'd have gotten a hell of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I was happy that I got the pre-order in for my 2 collector boxes that I got in October. So I think that was a huge advantage for me as far as, like, how I wanted to interact with a product. I wasn't chasing after, the best time to buy or anything like that. I put in my pre-order and it was just so much cheaper than anything afterward.
Let me ask you this. If
happy
at
to be
that
locked
same
in.
if at the time that you had purchased yours, the pre-order,
Yeah.
if the boxes were at their height 420, would you have bought them?
Nah. No way.
So and that's an interesting thing, and we've talked about it to an extent. I haven't really seen much analysis. You see kind of people talking around this topic, that there is a price threshold. There is a price, I call it the price cliff, right? That once you go above that, the purchases just drop off drastically, right? That it goes into the hands of the people like honestly, it goes into the hands of people like anger management or whatever his name is, and they're there to flip it as quick as possible, right?
Yeah.
That they have no intention of playing, collecting, having, coveting, and everything is through the lens of how rapidly can I process these, how rapidly can I offload these, like what's my cycle of obtaining and getting rid of. And those are people that chase the dragon. Those are the people that are trying to time the market.
Yeah, and that's not super healthy. So I actually picked up 2 collector packs when I was at Walmart, and I ended up pulling a foil Ravages of War, right? But I think it just looks too cool to get rid of. I'm not like any big rush to, hawk my wares. I just honestly want to keep that because it looks awesome. And that's, again, still surprising to me. But as I was going through and seeing the previews and what was being opened when I saw people doing box openings early, of course, and how excited I was for the artwork, for the thematic crossover. And I mean, the Caesar's Legion deck that I got, I'm a very big fan of that so far. So yeah, definitely pleased with it.
I still like
a fanboy.
Solar Guy was saying $47 each. I don't think that's the greatest price, but I still like Double Masters 2022. If you look at it, like every time I go back and look, it's like, good God, that set is good. There's just so many great cards in it. And I'll be honest with you, Dominaria Remastered, I think, is the most upside down product, to be honest. Like when it's around that $100 price point. Oh, it looks like that went up. That was recently lower than that. Huh. Yeah, I was going to say it was recently sub 200.
Yeah, it definitely got like really low. I recall it being like not super chased after. It's interesting. I've got one of these sitting on my shelf back here.
That's one I may actually open on stream. I've got, I think, I don't know how many more loose. I might have like one more loose collector box. It's only 4 packs, and I have like 2 sealed cases of it. So I'm not pumping it, but I mean, seriously, look at let's just go through
this
and just like look. Let's
so goddamn much. This card right here. This pisses I like that Josh from Hometown TCG is doing like this price gathering thing so that the data doesn't fall off like it does here on TCG Player. It was like $300 when I first pulled this card. It was my buddy Jordan actually that pulled it, right? Hanging out, sitting here, we were busting open a pack, and now it's $60, $70 now. It's just ridiculous. 1/5 of the price, 80% loss from the day it was pulled.
I mean, and again, I think this is the whole thing that people can look forward to. People say, "Oh, I don't care about the price. Oh, I want it to be cheap." How do you feel about your cheap? How do you feel about your card getting cheap, Pat?
Yeah, right.
How do you feel about your Dominaria Remastered boxes?
Yeah, right.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about. I feel the same. Dominaria United. I took it in the shorts. I got a case of collectors on that. That thing has been just
yeah. And I think it's understandable to feel that way with the mentality I had when I was purchasing those products. And now that I'm kind of filtering myself out of the purchase of Magic the Gathering product pretty much ad nauseum, which is funny because I just spent like $600 on Magic shit. But aside from that, the hypocrisy set aside, I'm not buying a lot of Magic to keep sealed. Like, that's not my big thing anymore, because every time you check, you realize those losses. It's not just when you sell it.
Okay.
That's when it's
and I want to just dispel this, like, exactly to your point right there, because you said every time you check, it's just what direction is that graph going?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what I keep hearing from some other content creators, and I won't throw them under the bus by name, but you can hear their words. I'll tell you their words, so I'm not throwing them under the bus. And they blame M30 for all of this.
This is not anything reflective of M30 right here, though.
What did M30 have to do with this dropping?
Yeah, right.
No, it's the reprints. Like, I'm just going to say it over and over and over and over and over again, folks. None of this is because of M30. Like, explain that to me in a rational sense. Connect the dots logically, and I'll accept it. But the M30, and I'm not just defending M30. I keep saying that's a product that should never have existed. But trying to blame M30 for all the woes, and here's the problem with blaming M30 on this, is it doesn't make the public ever address the real problem, right? It doesn't make people get mad at the reprints. Everybody wants to have cards cheap, and they want to sell them high. You can't do that. You can't have your cake and eat it too, right? You can have expensive cards, or you can have cheap cards. And your cheap cards, because of the process by which they're getting cheap, you're just going to keep losing value on getting those cards cheaper. You'll have to accept that your $69 textured foil Kozilek will eventually get down to $30.
Oh, look at that. 2 sold below price. $987.77.
Yeah, but we don't know what the shipping is with those. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
That's one thing that's very difficult to track, because they only track the sold price. But there's people that'll put like $50 shipping on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, I'm selling it for $9.97 because it moves them up to the top of the list. But then when you actually purchase it, it's like,
I can understand. Yeah, I mean, when you're selling it like this, $1,000.27, that you realistically are probably paying near $20 for shipping, because this is like the size of a deck box, right?
It's a little bit bigger. It's about half the size. It's about half the size of a the
bundle or thing, backpack or whatever.
It's approximately half the size of like that. I mean, it depends on the size of your deck box.
Have like that shipping fluff in there. You're probably not just doing packing peanuts and stuff. You got a $1,000 product you're sending somebody. So yeah, you're probably paying $25 in shipping.
I'd imagine.
And then they're losing 13% on this to TCG Player.
Oh, hold on, because you haven't even finished the complete part of that yet. Because now you're going to lose another whatever percent. I don't know, because I'm not a retailer, for taxes.
Right. Yeah.
And if you're not a retailer, then you're just a person that doesn't have an LLC that this is filed under. Then it counts as income.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's a 1099. So whatever your tax bracket is, and most of us are probably going to, I mean, if the average salary, the median salary is 74,000, according to I guess that's the household is median around, I don't know. They keep throwing around. It's hard to find out what the actual number is. I would guess that most people are in the median are in that like 50,000 range, right? So at any rate, you're probably still looking at like a between 18% to 24% taxes on top of that loss, right? So yes, selling again, you're going to have the 13% fees, the shipping, and another, we'll call it 20% just to be fair for taxes.
Yeah, minimum, probably closer to 30. But yeah, so either way, you're losing money hand over fist. Like holes in a bucket, your money's gone.
So again, at any rate, but what I wanted to point out with that, now, don't get me wrong. I think M30 was a terrible product. I still bought it because I understand how rare it is. I think it's a terrible product for the community. Did it turn some people off to Magic? Absolutely. The long-term collectors, the people that have alpha, significant positions in alpha and beta and maybe collector's editions, right? But that has nothing to do with any of the rest of these prices dropping. So
yeah, that has nothing to do with like this graph or Imperial Seal from Double Masters 22 in the foil etch. Like this and M30 have like no real
correlation.
interaction except for no idea.
Look,
in all honesty.
when other content creators mention M30, they're doing something intentional. I wish, like, I sent a link to Pat about that British guy who's really dry, but he breaks down communication, and I think everybody would benefit from watching him. Yeah, you called him a red pillar, but in reality, he's breaking down communication and expressing all the different tricks that people use during communication for evocative speech. And that's exactly what these content creators are doing whenever they hit the buzzword M30, because they know it's going to piss off a bunch of people that couldn't afford to buy it. The actual financial impact on the market of alpha and beta cards, not really existent. There aren't enough of them to sway the market. Additionally, they're not tournament legal. So, yeah, get bent. But I do think M30 was a problem. It should never have been made, but it doesn't excuse all the reprints crushing the prices of cards. And if you don't think so, just wait till MH3 comes out and take a look at what the freaking fetch lands are going to drop to. So I don't want to keep talking about reprints, though. But I just wanted to point out the misdirection of people mentioning M30 as a problem with Magic. That's people trying to get clicks, likes, echo chambering, and not really putting any real intelligent thought into it.
Eldrazi. Is that 5-color Eldrazi?
I guess.
I'm not paying $85 for one of these decks. It's just not happening. Yeah, no.
I'm not interested in it. I was on Josh's show. I wasn't on it. I was in the audience. Yesterday, maybe, talking about the ridiculousness of MH3 prices. And I you know what? My marker is for MH3 to even begin to be interested in it is they have to be about the same price as MH2 right now. I'm not interested until they're roughly equivalent.
I don't think they're ever going to be.
Why? You think that MH2 wasn't a banger set?
No,
honestly,
it's going to take a long time.
I think that MH2 is a better set from what I've seen than MH3.
I don't think I've actually seen much of anything for Modern Horizons 3 yet. I think I've seen anything for cards or any shit like that.
Someone said they were in Europe. I'm not in Europe. Who's in Europe, Lance? Oh, by the way, I might, and it's because of Josh going to Gen Con. Consider going to
I did see these. Yeah, there's like a Johnny that flips and a new super gross Emrakul.
Okay, and would you compare either of those to like Ragavan?
Nobody plays Emrakul. The only Eldrazi that ever gets played in my circle, like in my pod, we had a discussion about it. And we're like, Eldrazi Conscription is the only somewhat fair thing you can play from that entire like area. We're just not like super gross like that. And I'm pretty much the only person who actually plays Eldrazi Conscription. So there's not much like that's not an enticing thing for me.
Again, I'm like I said, if the prices get around MH2 prices, sure, I'll start getting somewhat interested in like, oh, maybe I'll pick up some. But until then, and if I miss out, cool. I have no FOMO anymore.
$369, like that's $500 for a collector box.
Well, but I mean, again, like he said. Like Lance said, Amazon isn't the benchmark, though. He's not even looking at it.
That's a good point.
But I've seen on other sites, like I saw the Modern Horizon. I sent it to you, right? That one site that had the pre-sales up, and it was like $350 or something for $375 for the collector box, and the play boosters were like $240 or something like that. I sent them to you and Matt in the chat.
Yeah, I
got an email that, and I'm still not interested. Like, that's cool. Everybody who wants to be hyped and get them like immediately, cool. I have absolutely no need to have cards right now. I can wait. I'm patient.
I just see the Fallout thing and the gift bundle thing recently.
It might be Mythic Lotus Gaming. That might be a true statement, Lance. But I don't even care. Even at those prices, I think Matt said, "Oh, it looks like a scam." I still don't care. Or if you're saying that they're still high at that price, then okay, you're right. But if you're saying that they average, it's fake news, then I don't give a shit because the prices are still too high. Yeah, there it is, like $3-something, $349.99,
notably different.
$230. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, even at those prices, I'm still not interested. They're getting close. First off, there's a lot of things that have to happen.
30 versus that's a $130 difference right there, and then this is $150 difference.
And the decks are like, what, $60 a piece? Not even $55 a piece. But my point is, it's just absurdly priced, in my opinion,
to say the least.
And
man.
For me, believe me, I'm not trying to convince any of you. These are my thought processes. These are my takes on what I'm seeing. It's not that I wouldn't buy any, because I loved MH2. So why wouldn't I? Actually liked MH1 and 2. But looking at the MH1 and MH2, there, you can get that product around $200 and something. And actually, the draft boxes on MH2 you can get for like $160.
They're not reliable for pre-orders.
And that's cool. I mean, I appreciate that info. So you all should take note from Lance. He is far more in the know than I am about like ordering and pre-ordering. I give you.
I mean, that makes sense though. Like you were saying, in a smart shopper, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. And if you give them money, you have to be very confident that they're going to give you what you're paying for. Unless they don't take it until like the last moment that it's going to get shipped.
But even Amazon does
you're waiting on bated breath that they don't exactly just cancel due to overselling, or decide, hey, how about we cancel these pre-orders, adjust the price, and then screw everybody that way.
And that was sort of my point, Lance. It doesn't even matter if they're reliable to me.
Yeah.
For the pre-orders, because even at those reasonable prices, not interested. So two things have to happen for MH3 for me first. Number one, they're going to have to show me a lot better cards than that to get me as excited as I am. Like, I'd much rather so far crack a box of MH2, honestly, if I didn't have anything. And we haven't seen anything yet. Yes, I understand that. But as they come, usually they kind of drop the big stuff first to get you really stirred up about it, right? They try to really reel you in by showing you the best stuff first. They've already announced that, yeah, indeed, we're going to get a reprinting of the Allied Fetch Lands. Here's going to be a bigger difference in the long run is I think they know they effed up on MH2. I believe, I would imagine, I would hope that they cut the print run drastically on MH3, because MH2 was like the best-selling product ever until Lord of the Rings. So
yeah, it was.
I don't know which one sold more units.
It was solid. People loved opening it. It always seemed to treat people well. And there was a lot that went into the format that became, chased after. I mean, Dockside, dang, great card. Gotta love
all
it.
The elementals, Urza Saga, Esper Sentinel. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, it's just it's a ridiculous set, in all honesty.
I disliked their showcase for it. I wasn't a fan of that like sketch. It seemed like half finished artwork, but
hey, I agree. I thought that the special versions were terrible.
What's funny though is that created a subclass of cards that, because of that distaste by a lot of the buyers, is that they're oftentimes like 5 to 15% cheaper. So my buddy actually picked up his Esper Sentinel and that showcase version because it was cheaper.
Sure, I did the same thing with those. Remember the Dark Rituals I was showing last night? That was the reason I bought specifically the etched foils, simply because you can't. People are so mad at the etched foils from Strixhaven.
Yeah.
simply because you can't tell if it's a foil or not. It's very difficult, right? So in response, the public has made them cheaper than the one that just definitely isn't foil. So if you can't tell, what differences does it make to? It should at least be the same price, exactly the same price as the base version of it, but it's not. It's cheaper. So I was like, okay, thank you. I was looking at my. I bought 4 of them for. I think it ended up being like $24. So they were like $6 a piece, and now even the etched foils are up to like 18. It's like the most expensive, besides demonic tutor that of the Japanese art. So I like it. I thought that the dark ritual art was just dope as shit.
Look pretty sweet.
I mean, the point of that was the fact that it didn't make sense that if you can't tell the difference between an etched foil and a regular, then why is the etched foil cheaper than the regular?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And there was definitely another set. I forget which one it was, but they had like textured edges or whatever, and so many people. I definitely opened a pack of them at one point.
You talking about Streets of New Capenna? The difference between the gilded foils and just the Art Deco foils or whatever they're called?
Now you can definitely the gilded foils. I thought were gorgeous. Probably one of the best treatments I've seen on a Magic card.
I'll be honest with you. Sometimes it's hard to tell though. Like you really have to turn it in the light to. Oh, okay, yeah, because it's only the border that has the shiny.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just looking at it on a table, you'd have to pick it up and go, "Oh yeah, that's a gilded foil."
Oh, it's one of the vault ones too. No shit, huh? Honestly, just like Solar God, I also just love those. I adore them. Honestly, great. I had a tarot deck that was all like Art Deco that had that foiling on it, that guild, and phenomenal.
I mean, I like it well enough, but I was just generally disappointed with the overall art direction with the Streets of New Capenna. It just I was expecting it better because I really like Art Deco, and it didn't feel very Art Deco. Matter of fact, there's so many different like versions in Streets of New Capenna, it's confusing.
And thematically for the Fallout set, the Surge foiling. Same thing for the Warhammer ones. It's funny how they're both universes beyond, but I think that the Surge foiling thematically is really good for both of those. Both the radiation for Fallout, kind of making stuff enhanced in some way, but also the kind of Aether in 40K. I think it was a good treatment for those, even though it's not my favorite, as you can clearly tell by my love of Guild. But yeah, good set.
I actually like the art direction, and I like Wild West stuff. So I'm actually pleased with what I'm seeing from Thunder Junction, but it still isn't going to encourage me to buy the set.
No,
like the art's just not enough to make me want to lose that much money.
Yeah, what's funny is I really like the packaging. Like the artwork they have on it, the belt buckle.
Looks like Cleveland Browns.
What's that?
The collector box looks like a Cleveland Browns box. Brown and orange.
That's a football thing?
Look at my hat.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that. Yeah. Very matching.
Yeah, it's the Cleveland Browns set. Wonder how much that's going to turn off sales now. I mean, that goes viral.
Retail at $150 for the play boosters. They'll probably drop a bit. I mean, this seems fine.
It's not absurd like MH3 at least.
Yeah, I'm fine with this. I'm not thrilled by any aspect. I am honestly a little bit surprised with how much I'm not hating it. That's so far the biggest surprise to me for this set.
That's the endorsement. Pat doesn't hate it.
I don't actively dislike this. So one single thumbs up. Like that's the best I can give you. Is it seems
Can I give you like a half a thumbs up?
Yeah, like, I'll
And
give it
I
a
don't
try.
agree with you, Lance. I think 150 is a terrible entry price for the cheapest product. Sorry, disagree. I love you, Lance. I do. But I'd give you a big old hug, maybe even a wet kiss, but I wouldn't give you $150 for a play booster.
That's why Bob's not buying any of these.
Nope.
Not that it's like, I
But
mean,
based
this
on
is just
cost of what? You're talking about cost from a distributor, cost from an LGS? I don't care because these didn't cost WotC any more than the draft boxes they just put out 3 months ago. Sorry.
Solar God's feeling that the pricing is okay, likes the wanted poster cards, but they're going to pass on the set. I mean,
And thank you,
I'm
WotC, for not
fine with
having
it.
an MSRP anymore because
Yeah.
then we can just say, nah, don't want to buy it. And guess what that distributor pricing will drop to? It'll drop to what the market will bear.
Pre-release pack. Oh, that's interesting. You don't normally see these on here too often.
What, pre-release kits? Oh, yeah, you do.
No, I just mean like in the set for pre-sale items. I don't normally
Yeah, you
see
do.
that with like the other things.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, maybe I don't notice it.
It's just that's where it
Tiny
happens to fall in the
Bones.
pricing
He
scheme
got a
because you have an
cute
organized
looking
price high to low.
Fibble Fip. He's
I
so
agree with you
dramatic.
that stores get screwed. And I've said it many times. Look, in business, first off, nobody owes distro or stores anything. They have to work out how to make the prices adjust to what the public wants. The public shouldn't adjust to what the distro and stores are getting from the manufacturer. Like that all needs to happen behind the scenes, but the buck shouldn't, you shouldn't pass the buck to the customer. So, sorry, disagree.
And I think Yu-Gi-Oh still does stuff because they have a section here. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh cards are just weird to me. Number one, they're so tiny, and like they have a really large piece of art, and then their writing is just so small.
Oh, it's like your other game that you like.
Oh my god, that Legion's Realms
at War.
Legion's Realms at Reading.
Right? It's like, nope.
It's just
dude, I would love to see like Yu-Gi-Oh cards in Josh's hands. Because that dude's 6'8". He's a massive dude. And even Lance, yeah, you're a big dude. But look like baby cards, like the miniature decks in those guys' hands.
Why is like you got to zoom in? So I can't even get TCG Player to zoom in enough for me to be able to read this shit. Like it's breaking my browser. Like it's just.
Let's go, Solar God, 7 months member. Look at you.
Woo, woo, woo.
Choose you, Pikachu. Thank you, sir. Last salute. Your membership. And I mean that not in a flippant kind of way. I mean in the most sincere kind of way. Yu-Gi-Oh's never been my thing. First of all, it was. Well, first off, I'm not really not a big anime kind of guy, and I mean this is sort of anime-ish, right? I guess you would say, or manga. I don't know which one this one falls under. Is this manga or is this anime?
I think it's anime. Like I'm sure there's
whatever it is,
like manga and stuff like that, but at the same time, like I know that there was a very long
manga,
and right,
and I'm not. It is great. I'm a nerd, but I'm not that kind of nerd. So
yeah,
this never appealed to me.
This does nothing for me. Although I do love
what's on the card.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
All right. So from this view, no, stop. Scroll back up. On that $21 card there, or the $31 card. What's that an image of?
It looks like a very large sword being held by a robot.
It kind of looks like a paper cutter blade on the left side, but I have no idea what the rest of it is.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. It's a giant robot holding a huge sword.
Oh, is that his head down there with the white stripe on it? And he's got like massive shoulder pads or something?
Yeah, this is his tiny head and huge pauldrons for like no reason.
Like I said, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm looking at there.
And it's tiny. That's one of the big issues with this is that it's very small. Like it's physically not a big item. And that's one of the reasons why these boxes, holy shit, it's $12 for one of these boxes. This is hilarious. Do you get more than like one pack in this? A secret rare, 6 ultra rares. Oh, okay.
It is a pack?
It's one pack, but it comes with one of 6
30 commons.
Yeah.
One secret rare. One.
Most popular cards, blah, 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 blah. Return of the long-awaited something or other, whatever. Is this
that
made
like
to
a
be
starter deck?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, do you smash
I
these
don't know,
together?
man.
Because that would
I
be
don't know what I'm looking at.
37 cards. That's a weird number of cards for. I don't know. It's freaking Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not doing this, Bob.
You're the one that brought it up.
Hey, you know, I tried. Like, I'm giving it a shot. You know, let's just torture Pat for another 2 minutes.
Is this also release weekend for Star Wars Unlimited?
Oh my God, Star Wars Incredibly Limited. Yeah, I'm not excited for
$345, $600 Boba Fett. Get effed.
My name's Han Solo, audacious smuggler.
Yeah.
Okay.
This would be right now a hard pass, and I would wait. Look at that. Oh, it's a case for $535. What comes in a case?
I mean,
look, all these new games, I'm just not down for like the pricing on them.
Bought one.
What I'm saying is these new games, including Lorcana, like it appeals to me, but I'm going to tell you right now, these new games, they need to exist before I'm willing to put any kind of money behind them, even as a play interest, right? Because they just there's too many mouths to feed.
I love this chart.
Oh my God, are they owned by WotC? I just, I'd exercise caution, especially in today's economic market, in a lot of uncertainty and housing prices going up, and just nobody has retirement. 50% of Americans have no retirement savings. Zero.
Hilariously, yeah.
80% have less than $100,000. 80%.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
So the other 30 that have something
like not putting away for my future when I was younger. The jobs I worked didn't have retirement programs, and I'm so lucky to be able to have that as part of my future. Because honestly, I mean, grocery stores are like robbers nowadays. Honestly, it's like a thief when you walk out of there with a grocery bag that costs $100. And to look at something like this, it's like, I'm gonna buy this for $350. It's like, no, dude, I need that for a month's worth of groceries. Ridiculous. Yeah,
5% of people have more than $500,000 like saved for retirement. It's absurd. And you know what? 500,000. Imagine trying to retire to make $500,000 last 25 years. Divide 500,000 by 25, folks. It's not pretty.
And to be able to have a job where you can like afford to be able to put away like that, like it, and just having the wherewithal, the thought of planning ahead for your future. And it is scary that some people think putting a whole bunch of this shit on your shelf is as equitable as having like a smart market fund. It's like it's index funds and Pokemon boxes react very differently in times of turbulence. Okay, not financial advice, but go get some good financial advice. That's the one bit of financial advice I do feel comfortable giving on here, Bob, is telling people to go get financial advice.
I'll say this at a minimum. I'll even go further. Go YouTube some financial shit about retirement and all the different factors that are out there with Social Security and all the things that people just, I'll worry about it when I get closer to it. If you wait till then, it's too late. Because again, like I said,
Hang on,
It's absurd what people 95% of people 95% of people
Good
have
move.
less than $500,000 in retirement.
Mm.
And like I said, try to, just what is it? What is 500,000 divided by 25? Why am I fail sucking? Should be quick math. But it's like what, 20,000 a year?
$20K a year.
Okay. And that's going to be taxed too.
Yeah. Withdrawn from retirement funds, baby.
And that's
unless
if you
live
had
in some very
500,000.
select places.
If you guys were making $20,000 a year, you'd be screaming.
Yeah, bro. Like, the fuck, man. You can't live on that. Yeah, like
and that's
Johnny,
$500,000,
exactly. 20K.
folks.
Like, if you earn take home whatever, if you're looking at $20,000, like, what do you eat? Like, just salt and bread? Like, how do you like actually live like in a place? How do you live in a place? How do you have like an apartment or a house? You must have own it already, or like you have a family that can take care of you. It is scary to think about that, and I think honestly a lot of my generation just doesn't. And the moment they ever do, they get so frightened of it that they just don't ever think of it again and just go to Starbucks for another frap.
So I want you to think about that $20,000 living off of that in retirement for 25 years and never getting a pay raise, by the way. And
nah.
I want you to think about that
expensive.
the next time. I want you to think about that the next time you're going to buy some stupid $600 card.
Yeah,
think about it.
Right. And then you got to think about like healthcare, because that's the biggest expense in the like later years of your life. And I mean, I'm just barely starting to experience it in my mid to now beginning my late 30s, right? 37 this year. And I know it just gets worse and worse because my dad's falling apart. And we talk about it all the time because he's just retired. And it's like, yeah, this is the most expensive thing. Owns his house, owns his cars. But I mean, insulin ain't cheap, baby.
So I don't want to bring people down. I don't want to, you guys are coming here for escapism, but also I can't in good conscience try to hype you guys up about anything unless we're working from the same premise about, what this hobby is. All right. Now subtract, what's the minimum tax rate going to be? We'll just call it 14%. So you're not even 20K. Your take home out of that's going to be taxed at least 14%.
Yeah.
So and that's if you had $500,000. Raise your hand if you have $500,000 in retirement savings. 95% of Americans can't raise their hand.
Nah, man. Yeah, not
so that's what 500,000.
I got another good 20 years working,
right? So yeah. So again, let's. I always try to talk about this, not to make people feel depressed and want to go eat a gummy and tune out to Naruto, but
to save money, I use cat insulin. I just bump up my dose.
But I mean, this is reality when we're talking about these things, folks. And what Pat and I are kind of getting at in a very poor way is that you should not be looking at the cardboard world to be your savior. Right?
No, this has to be just like
a terrible look at it.
Screw around, do nothing money. Like if you buy an Xbox, like you don't think that, hey, I'm going to turn around in 8 years and make money off of this Xbox. That's not how you should interact with any of these games, in my opinion. I'll give you entertainment advice instead of financial advice here.
Sure.
Entertainment advice is have fun with what you're spending your money on. I mean,
well, just have fun is definitely a thing. But, just like the ant and the grasshopper, having fun, guess what? The grasshopper was having all kinds of fun.
Yeah.
But when the fun train stops,
then
it's really serious. And that's happening
far too often. Like if you're buying a box of Heavy Hitters, the newest Flesh and Blood release, if you're buying a box of this, you have to think of that $85 as play with fun money. if you
Yes.
look at that and think, oh wow, I can get a card worth $360 possibly.
Ooh, then
If I get
you've already
lucky,
lost.
I can turn it around and I can make bunches of money off of it. Like that is not smart. That's not a safe thing to do with your money. It has to be like throwaway. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's disposable income is what that's
Yep.
called. So everything that we're talking about is from a disposable income. But there is a cheaper way that you can interact with any of these card games. Pat, you're kind of an expert on that. What's a cheaper way that folks can interact
That's
with
NPCphil.com, Bob. You know, not a sponsor, want a sponsor. These guys are phenomenal. NPC Phil
now
is
this
like
I do feel good about telling you guys from a
Yeah.
financial perspective, to be just
So
blatantly honest.
you know
And I
what?
don't care if it's Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't care if it's Lorcana, I don't care what it is, right? This is a very economical way to engage responsibly. You say you want to play, you say you want to have these cards, you can have them. Shit, half the time I have to really check on my proxies to make sure that they're proxies. You know, they can be very, very convincing looking.
Yeah.
But you know what? Did you even note, like, we were playing last night, right? I'm not going to mention who we were playing with, but it was a very good time. And some of the conversation revolved around proxying. And you know, we're playing commander raids, and that's a healthy, fun way to engage. And the way that Pat does it, he's got a video out there that you can even customize it to what you like. If you didn't like some of that shitty art on the sketched Esper Sentinel or a whatever, you know, you can get your own 30-cent custom card that looks way better. You know, that appeals to you specifically. You can even generate it in AI art and stick it on there. That's what I did for these jokers, right? Wow, total see-through. Let me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ungreen screen to kind of show
Did
you.
not work as anticipated. Yeah.
I was like, whoa, it got worse. So, you know, why did it? So, you know, AI art can be pretty dope. Right? And they made a couple of them just so that they would be kind of different. And not shitty art, in my opinion.
So this is from the video that I had recently made of using MPC Fill. As you can see, you know, designing your deck from Moxfield, you just import it right to this site, upload everything, and it's super slick. You can choose the front, the backs of cards.
And what I recommend, if you really want to double your savings, print 2 cards on one. Print the
right.
That's what I did with the dual. Oh God, I'm going to knock everything over.
Make a double deck. Yeah.
You know that you can print one side Craterhoof Behemoth, the other side can be doubly season. You know,
and
that's what I did with these jokers, right? The dual lands that I made up. You know, it's 2 cards on one. Why not use both sides of the card? Cared.
And it was only going to be $26.15 for my Rats deck. Yeah, I think because there's so many of the same card in it, or I don't know, maybe it's just super cheap now, but $26 plus shipping and stuff, maybe $35. Let's say crazy prices, right? $35.
Sometimes they even have a sale, right? Like if you're not in any hurry, you can just load it up and wait until they have like a 5% or 15% off sale on like Black Friday or some holiday. So I mean, you can really interact with the hobby in a very fiscally responsible way.
Yeah. Oh, right? Absolutely. And just like this, you know, Solar God can send me a link to his Moxfield build of his deck, and then I can get them printed out on very high quality card stock.
Very good quality.
Yeah. And you can choose different versions of the card stock itself. Like in that video that we were just looking at, you can choose from 5 different versions of it. And one of them is plastic. You can literally just get like PLA cards. So if you have kids or you bring these to like an after school program or something, you don't have to worry about them being in sleeves and stuff like that. You can get linen back cards, so it's like really high quality
High
bicycle playing
durability.
cards. Yeah. You can also get them foiled out in different ways. You can do, I think, cold foil and regular foiling as well. So phenomenal. I've been incredibly pleased with everything I've gotten through
MPC,
them.
I'm very, 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 very happy with,
Yeah.
and I think it's a great thing. It's a great way to combat the bad nature of what WotC's doing.
Mm-hmm.
People always speak about voting with your wallets. Well, the best way to do that is proxy your cards. I mean, unless you're going to a tournament, you
Right.
know. But I can't speak to that. I don't go to tournaments. I don't care.
Right. And that's one of the things about like Flesh and Blood is that the actual tournament scene is a huge part of the game, is playing in person. And I mean, right in the name, you play in the flesh and blood. So I would doubt that the proxy scene is heavy in flesh and blood gameplay because of the tournament scene being so prevalent and really drawing a lot of people in. But if that's not what you're playing with, you could definitely load these up and have MPC Phil do these for you. Same thing for Pokemon, Digimon, and you can actually get.
I would definitely say One Piece. Super huge caution on this one. So if you really feel you need to play this, then I would be proxying this game.
I think these are like this is an alternate art, but this is just a specialty card. Yeah, SPs. Hey, what up, Matt?
Yo.
Hey.
Check
You already
out some
done bowling?
One Piece.
Dude, I was done bowling at 7. I think it was like 7:15.
Dang.
30, because my dad and my sister pre-bowled. My other sister didn't show up, and then of the other team, 2 of their people didn't show up. So we had 3 people of 8. So the game went really quick. So then me and my mom went to the Goodwill, picked up some old board games, and then to Dollar Tree pick up some canvases for some painting my sister wants to do.
Cool.
So what's up? What's up, everybody?
Chilling, hanging out, talking about some different trading card games right now.
Kind of getting into the whole proxy thing and went in on a bit of a rant about financial responsibility and.
What's up, coaches?
Not the sexiest stuff.
Thanks, brother.
One of the things I had pointed out was Lorcana. We're already starting to get to that 6-month spot where I had said that's when I'm going to start considering picking up the singles to fill out, my play set. I want a full play set of the first chapter, and we're starting to enter into that zone. So I was saying, put it if that's an interest somebody has, now's the time to start putting it on their radar.
How close are you to a set right now?
You mean to a full set or a full play set?
What do you want?
I want a full play set.
Oh. Is it 3 or 4?
4
play set. Okay.
I need like 170. It's like $522 to finish it.
Not too bad.
It was 700 and something like 3 months ago. Like it was almost $800. So it's already dropped down to like 520, and that's why I say that it's like, yeah, I'm that nerd. I'm that guy that's like, okay, for FU money or disposable income, I want to wait till it gets down to the lowest that I think that it may have been lower, but it might be on its way back up as an aggregate. I didn't check recently. This is the first time I've checked in like 3 months. So it's like, okay, it's starting to definitely get into that territory of this is the time to start looking. If, got into that whole debate that I was talking with you about, that there's no definitive proof that they're going to reprint the first chapter again.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, these tropes are pretty cheap for the Illumineers one. Rise of the Floodborn trope.
I was going to say, not for the first chapter. It's
no.
The
Inklands and Rise are kind of cheap. I mean, not cheap.
What do you mean by cheap? The one that's like bizarrely cheap to me is a display box of the Into the Inklands the decks. It's only like $66.
Coach asks Bob, "Are you doing a full set of the enchanted cards too?" That'd be a nice compliment of the place.
Actually, I am.
No shit.
But that's but that's more likely what's going to replace all the reserve list cards that Sherry's been buying for me. But she already pulled the, the two of the top dogs. She already got the Elsa and the Belle. She pulled the Belle for Christmas, and her very first pack she opened the Genie. So I'm only missing 9 of them.
Right. Luckily, you've just been pulling them.
Like literally, it's absurd what we've pulled. So it's like, okay, we got lucky. Now we'll buy them. But see what I mean? It's 8 decks for $66, dude. That's less than $10 a deck. See the Into the Inkland starter deck display?
Yeah. Well, even
that's like
this. I mean, Rise of the Floodborn even cheaper.
Yeah. But I think I have like 4 of the starter decks already. So, but yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
It says Rise of the Floodborn 2. What does that mean? Is that like set 2?
Yeah.
That there are different amounts of those decks in there. So there are only 2 types of decks.
No, Rise of the Floodborn 2 means the second set. That's how they mark the case.
The other one was set 3.
Go look at the first chapter.
See, that one says 3. And the other one has to probably say 1.
You got to go up.
Yeah, it's more expensive. You're going down. There you go.
But they don't have 1 on. Yeah, they do.
Oh no, that is 1. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But notice the first chapter has 12 boxes, and the other 2 sets only have 8.
Oh yeah.
But like if you look at the Rise of the Floodborn, right? So that's 8 decks. Understand there is a booster pack in every starter deck.
Yeah.
It's
right.
True.
So.
Yeah.
Huh? You're getting.
Yeah. You're getting 8 booster packs with all of these.
Right.
And then you're also getting 8 decks.
How much is a booster worth?
A booster box? I think I saw them.
No,
they were like 119 is the cheapest I saw them. I think they're back up a little bit.
I want to know how much a booster pack is worth. One singular pack.
Okay, so divide 120 by 24.
$5.
Right.
So if you're getting 8, that's $40.
Yep, there's a
right. So subtract $40 from that for the booster pack price, right?
Yeah, but like, are the cards in it actually worth money? I doubt it.
But you're still getting the decks to play with. I mean, that reduces the price of each deck to like $3.
Yeah.
It's also a really good experience for. So I got to do this with my buddy Matt that I play Magic with, and I went over his place with 2 decks, still sealed in the packs, right? And we busted it open, and you get a little play mat for your area. It teaches you how to play the game, a couple of tokens, and you also get a pack. So like that experience of playing your first game, learning it, and also get a little bit of pack opening experience. It really is a nice package. That's definitely like the premier way to do starter decks.
Hell, what we should almost do is honestly buy those, hork the pack out of them, and then just send the starter decks out to people for free to start learning how to play it.
Yeah. And Coach has got a great point here.
$3 a deck. Like, how much cheaper would you want the deck to be, man? Like, I don't even think you could proxy them that cheap.
No, definitely not. I mean, even though they're 60 card decks, I mean, buying the starter deck for $20, not even usually. I mean, 2 of them.
No, if you look at the other ones, so what's 55? About $7 a deck.
Oh yeah, right.
Right. So it's like $7 a deck. We hork the pack out of there. That's $5. Right. That's a $2 deck that we could just send out to people. Whether they complain about getting a free deck, they can learn how to play Lorcana.
The first chapters, yeah.
No, those are more expensive, even per.
Yeah, it'd be $13.50 each, which is still really cheap considering that a first chapter pack goes for almost $9. So at that point, you're paying like $4.50 for the deck itself.
Mm-hmm. And there are some of those decks. The blue ones have like a $2 card in it. I
was just thinking like you might actually be able to just open all of these and sell them individually as pieces and make a bit of a profit. But then you got 13% TCG player fees and
20% tax.
Yeah, and also going to like the freaking like post office that much is just pain in the ass. All those envelopes, like, I'm not doing that.
I'm just saying
I did that for singles for TCG or for Magic, and it was a bit of a hassle.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't do it. But if you scroll down, I mean, that's the deal. Like I can't imagine like those if you want to, have friends play with you. How much cheaper can they really get?
Right.
Sorry, I just don't see it. I mean, unless they announce that, Lorcana going out of business. Like if they pull a MetaZoo.
Look at the people that were buying them at 140. Or 130.
Oh yeah, feel bad
for those people.
Feel bad for them.
Dude, I was happy. I was looking at the Fallout Commander decks on Amazon. They're $240. TCG player, they're $213. I got mine for $177 after tax.
Way too early in the life cycle. I'll wait and see a year from now if I'm interested at all.
The collectors are still floating around the 370, 380. I don't know about those. They're kind of all over the place.
I got two of them at $241 a piece. So
I would buy a case at $240 if I could, but
well, I mean, I did my pre-order in October.
Yeah, that's when I pre-ordered my Commander deck.
I'm honestly still shocked. I checked it for like 3 times a day over the last week just to see if Amazon was actually going to send it to me. No shit, they took my money and it's on the way. It's already in mass.
Mine still says like when I click track package, it says ordered and it doesn't say shipped yet. And I'm like, well, when the fuck are you gonna ship it? Like it's out. Ship it.
Yeah.
It says arriving Monday, but I don't believe it because it's already Saturday and it hasn't even been shipped.
Yeah, mine's supposed to be Monday.
Yeah, but it's Amazon?
It says sold by Amazon.
Okay, well then I wouldn't worry about it. But they often do adjust the schedule. Like what's really weird is I ordered some light bulbs because the little light bulb underneath your microwave that lights up the stovetop.
Yeah.
They went out and I ordered them like, I don't know, Thursday, and they were supposed to come in yesterday, but then yesterday they updated it and said it's coming in on the 12th, and then they came in today. Okay.
They just get there later. Yeah.
Sure.
Sometimes they actually double ship, so you might actually get one on the 12th too.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, wee. Sure. It'll get here sometime.
I bought some RAM from Amazon and it was like free overnight shipping, and I'm like, okay, and it'll arrive at 4 a.m. and I'm like, I don't believe that, but we'll see. And yep, sure shit. 4 a.m. A dude walks up on my store or on my porch and drops it off.
The only thing that ever pisses me off with Amazon is like when I want something, like maybe cough medicine. I think that's what it was last time. I ran out of cough drops when I had COVID. And I was like, oh man, I need cough drops and Tylenol. And then I had to in order to get overnight shipping, I had to get up to $25. Yeah. So then I ordered an extra thing to get up to $25 to get it the next day. And the next day they go, oh, sorry, now coming in 2 days from now. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, then I wouldn't have fucking ordered the extra thing to get above the $25 threshold, you morons. I was pretty mad about that one.
Prices are not bad. Like, no. 120s is
I'll be honest with you. If play boosters were at this price and hovering at this price and stayed steady like this price, I would be much better with play boosters.
The issue I have, though, is it's 24 packs, so it's almost like...
No, they're not. Lance came on here and said play boosters has got to be 150. It's like... And I was like, why? And he goes, well, because that's like what the stores and the distributors... I'm like, I don't care. Then they need to adjust their price.
Right now, they're 108 for 36 packs.
Did you just see what? Did you just see what Pat put over your face?
No, I was looking.
Put it up on his face again. Shove it in his face. And if anybody knows, I hate to say it, I'm going to err on the side of
part of a shop, so like he doesn't want to lose money. So yeah, if they're making, see that's the problem. If Watsy's making them pay,
I don't think anybody wants to lose money.
If Watsy's making all the distributors and the stores pay, 130, 140 for a box, then yeah, they gotta be at least 150.
And you know what the distributors and the stores should do? Like
don't
any
wanna know
other
my answer to
effing
that.
business in the world, say no.
I personally don't understand why we need distributors. Why don't well
Well,
the problem is I don't understand why
it's,
we need distributors and also don't understand why we need card shops. I understand why we need card shops, but then
oh,
like here's the problem that I see. If we eliminate distributors and if the cards were able or if the card shops were able to order directly from WotC, for however they do that. I mean, if they're doing it, they can do it through Amazon. Fuck it. They could save money by just eliminating the distributors because I feel like the distributors they do shady crap all the time. They like withhold supply. They like overcharge the stores or undercharge the stores.
And then they'll do like shady deals too. Like you got to buy 6 of these so that you can get 6 of those.
Exactly. You got to buy a bunch of our garbage that we don't want so you can get the things you do want. So it just puts the stores in a worse position.
Banners is $100 on TCG Player because they got fucking forced to buy it. Now they have to liquidate their stock so that they had any shot at getting some Commander collector booster stuff from Fallout. So it's like that's
what Rudy had to do. Rudy had to buy 300 boxes of Karlov Manor collector boxes in order to get any collector boxes of the Fallout, and he got. Well, I don't know how much he paid, but he certainly didn't give his patrons the best of deals at the moment because of how bad they went down so far.
So let's roll this back. So I've been trying to you asked the question and I'm trying to answer it.
Sure.
The distributors are a vestigial piece of the supply chain for a hobby entity like Magic the Gathering, meaning there was no setup distribution chain, modern distribution chain built into the system. Now, that I believe you're right. You should eliminate that, and they should allow stores, especially in today's age with computers, because when this first started, there was no internet.
Yeah.
Okay. There was no online. But in today's world, what you modernize, and this is what I'm saying, it's the responsibility of the stores to push back and say, no, we're not going to buy your product at those prices. We'll go out of business. It's the store owner's responsibility to make a profitable store, not the clients. And if we can go get the cards elsewhere much cheaper, then that's where we're going to go. Now, the problem is if you cut out the stores, you cut out the environment, right? And there's no replacement for it for people to chance across the product, to get together and play, to have the format to set up tournaments and just develop a healthy ecosystem, and that would force WotC to have to start developing some sort of local play environment where people could go and get together and learn about games, and then it's limited to just WotC. So that's the card shops need to exist for that very reason, to spread the product. But the distributors are, you familiar with the term vestigial? Like we have people sometimes have vestigial tails and vestigial webbing between their fingers. They're genetic anomalies from some it's no longer needed, but people still have them. And that's what the distributors truly are, because they haven't been forced to have to take a modern approach to supply and distribution chains. Now, the stores have to exist for a very different reason. And if they don't, then the hobby dies, period.
No, I understand why we need the stores, but the distributors, I just don't like that.
Agreed.
It happened with Flesh and Blood.
Responsibility is to get rid of them?
It would be WotC. So it happened with Flesh and Blood where like...
The stores, because WotC sells and they don't give a shit. It's easier for WotC to sell to a few distributors than to sell to 4,500, 6,000 stores, right? Because then they have to track each of those as an account. For WotC, it makes a whole lot of sense to have the distributor because they get to offload all of their product ahead of time before they even have sales, and they only have to manage 1 or 2 or 10 accounts, right? Rather than 6,000 accounts.
And they're probably, higher price point as well and have some sort of, financial backing to them in a way that your local mom and pop, like the dude that owns my LGS, my local LGS, right, Bob? The guy that owns this, there's no way that he's going to be able to have the same impact in buying product that a distributor is going to. And they can also warehouse and inventory certain stuff as well that an LGS is going to have such turnover for. I get the logistics side of it. It makes sense for sure. Have a couple less accounts, but they're larger accounts, bigger fish.
Well, I mean, and Coach makes a good point that the distribution companies help streamline, but you know who should be eating that cost? WotC. That's
Yeah.
purely a WotC thing, right?
Well, you
And
know they
instead,
wouldn't. They would
WotC's
pass it
being-
on
Yeah,
to the
that's not how
stores.
this is going to work.
but WotC's,
You know how
WotC's being
that's not going to work. What
but
they would do is
WotC's
they would,
right. WotC's being predatory, right? They have look.
Well,
You see other companies print out boxes. Let's say relatively the same number of cards, right? That come in a Magic box, come in a Hero Realms box, right? That it's not the cards, and they're just taking massive amounts of profit to have those distributors in there. But now they're pushing that the margins for the stores are razor thin or upside down. Right? It's like this is it's so bizarro that WotC's not cutting out the distributors to trim cost and setting up more streamlined distribution for their actual customers, which is not us. It's LGS's. Right now, WotC's biggest customer is a distributor. It's not even the stores. So, yeah, I agree with you that they really need to take a more modern approach, a better streamlined approach, a more rational and sensible approach, and stop being so predatory and cutting stores off the knees with these drops on
Stop being
Amazon.
so predatory. $504 for a collector box.
Yeah, I'm not.
I think
coaches, I
want
want to circle. Coach, I want to circle back to what you said. So, in a perfect world, distributors help do all of the things you said. Yes, but we've also seen many scenarios where distributors are shady as hell and they play the market, and they shouldn't. They should not be able to control the market the way they do. They shouldn't have any hand. They should be They should be the ones to distribute the product, not control it.
Should be like the post office, right? Like,
yeah, it should literally just be in out and like WotC they charge the distributors a certain price, and the distributors shouldn't be able to charge whatever the hell they want. That just makes no sense to me. They should be charging the stores a set amount. WotC should be in charge of that. It should be contractual.
Yeah.
Well, and beyond that,
like for instance, with the collector boxes for Fallout, they nosedived $100 the moment it released. Like something's wrong.
Well, now, to be fair, hold on. To be fair, the night before release, WotC dropped a whole bunch of collector boxes on Amazon, and they put them up for $3.19 a box.
See, I didn't. Why nobody told me? I would have bought at $3.19. I would have.
Nobody told anybody. It was a surprise. Dual Brain made a video about it.
$3.23.
You can see it. No, it was $3.19.
No, I'm saying like right now.
They're $3.23 right now.
Yeah, but they're temporarily out of stock, so whatever that means. But
no, I don't. I can buy 30 of them right now.
No, you can't.
Well, it says we are working hard.
Oh, temporarily out of stock. Yeah.
So what does that mean?
But what does that mean? It says they say they don't charge you until it ships, but do they charge you more, or are you locked in at the $3.23?
Oh, so yeah, I don't know if they're gonna jerk your chain and not do it like a pre-order.
Well, the problem with that is that that's a little funky, because if there's serialized cards in these boxes, that means that there should be a set amount of these boxes. So getting restocks feels very weird unless WotC or a distributor is holding product.
So what this says to me, what this screams to me, and I'm going to put on it, like, just imagine my hat was tinfoil at the moment. Yeah. What that means is more print waves incoming. Newsflash.
No, they can't. They can't print more of it. If they have serialized cards in it, they just can't.
What do you mean they can't? It's how do you know? No.
There's a set probability of cards.
How do you know that they didn't only print X amount so far and haven't printed a whole bunch of the serial ones yet?
So you're telling me that you think that like they've only printed 1 through 250 of 500, and they still can print 251 through 500?
So correct.
I mean, it's possible. It is certainly possible.
Yeah, I mean, so in what
how would you even know? How would you even begin to prove that?
We wouldn't. We would only know if like only 1 through 250 cards were being pulled.
But you're assuming that they print them serially, like directly in line with each other.
Sure.
What if they print them?
I imagine a sheet of serialized cards are like literally 1 through. I mean, I guess they could be randomized, but then they'd have to keep track of like the ones they have printed versus haven't, which I guess isn't too hard out of 500. But I don't know. It feels very.
Is there like a giant? Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see like a giant uncut.
I really do want to see a giant uncut serialized sheet. That'd be really cool.
Oh, hot shit.
$3.23 for a collector's box is tempting. I might pre-order. I'm gonna throw 2 in my cart real quick.
No, these
What
are
is
just
that? What is it? So it's 620, 647 after. Is
Plus
that after
taxes.
tax?
No.
So
but it's also like
699
not
with
available
tax.
right now. So
Free 1-day shipping. 699. So we're looking at 350 out the door.
241.
TCG player is more than
370
that.
something.
Yeah, 372. So that's $22 less than TCG. Actually, it's more than that. It's 388. So it's $38
It's like $50
less than
different.
TCG.
Well, but that's not with taxes?
Yeah,
Neither
it's
of them
$699
are.
out the door.
No.
That's
TCG, your TCG price was not.
Oh,
with
so yeah,
taxes.
you're right. Yeah, so it's even more of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I were to put 2 in my cart for TCG right now, add to cart, we're looking at $744 without tax.
I love this farewell. Like all of the Fallout borderless art that they did just really does it for me. Like this Soul Ring, phenomenal. This is hilarious. Him detonating like a giant bomb in the background.
$819 with tax versus $699. Over $100. $120. It's a pretty good
It's about
deal.
$60 a
Amazon.
box savings right now. But again, I don't look. I'm not playing this. Count me out. I'm gonna sit on the sidelines on this one. I'm gonna sit this dance out. I'm gonna watch it unfold in the bucket of popcorn. And I agree with you, Coach, with the sales and listing set prices. It's people that are ordering it at these crazy prices compound the issue of volatile and lucrative business. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to generate a shit ton of feel bads out there. So I want no part of it.
Yeah,
this is a non-starter for me.
Do you think that it's going to get down to the original pre-order prices? I mean,
I have had that thought, but it's impossible to tell.
There's no way.
It's impossible to tell. It depends on how much hits the market again. And all I'm saying is that that's an indicator to me that Amazon has already restocked some just a day and a half ago, and they have it available at $329, and they're saying they're working hard to get more. So
here's my process with it. This is a very good set. There are well over 75 cards. I made shorts on them. There's well over 75 cards where I deem that they're worthy of making a short out of. I don't make shorts out of bad cards. I try to make shorts out of ones that I feel they have some play in some maybe niche situation. But there's 75 of the 100 and something new cards that I think are pretty decent. And there's no play boosters. There's no other way to get these cards besides collector boxes. So I feel like there's not going to be a lot of, and people are struggling to get them. So either there's 2 scenarios I see playing out. The first scenario is there was some kind of complication with printing the boxes, and they were only able to print like half of the supply. And then like maybe a month from now, they'll be like, okay, the rest of them have been printed, and then we get a flood of them. That would suck, but I don't foresee them going below 300. But we'll see. I could be wrong.
First
There's
of
no
all,
way they go
I don't.
250.
I like with as much shit as you give me about collectability and whatnot. What would encourage you? What tells you should buy these even at 300? Why are you not proxying these? You don't see value.
Question.
You don't understand collecting. I don't get it. Why would you go balls deep on a product that's way more expensive than something I'm willing to pay?
I'm not opening them. I'm using them as sealed, and then they will go up. Like the big bookshelf behind me of all.
All right, now we're right back into that same territory before. You don't understand shit. I don't understand.
Ouroboros has eaten its own tail.
We're gonna spin that back around at you because I had a thought the other day about something. So you've said numerous times that you don't care about if sealed product that you buy goes to zero. Then why do you care about reprints? The reprints are what's hurting the value of the cards, which hurts the value of sealed. But yet you always care. You don't care about reprint, or you care about the reprints of cards, but you don't care if your product goes to zero. So if you don't care about the value of your cards, then you shouldn't give a shit about reprints.
I absolutely do, because I think they're hurting the game, and I think ultimately it will make it go out of print, and the game will die.
But who cares? You got your boxes. You can
do.
Use them. Even if the game dies, you'll still have the same amount of fun opening that box.
Okay.
2 years.
No, I won't, because just like with Star Wars Destiny, you won't find people who want to play it with you.
Oh, that's not true. I played with you for the Star Wars game. I feel like you can get a people.
You're the one person on the planet that I've been able to find that's willing to play it.
I'm willing to pretty much play any game once. I'm willing to even play Lorcana once. I'm not going to do it on my own, But if we get
But
around, if we get
I've
together and you
even
want to play
brought
one
up
time, I'd
the
do it.
question: can we do it on a Thursday night with the guys over? And you're like, yeah, they're probably not going to play it.
I mean, I said I'm willing to play. I can't control what my friends want.
Okay,
I'll ask
that's
them.
exactly. Well, I'm answering your question. You said, why would I care? I don't
Yeah.
care if my boxes personally go to 0, but I care about the game dying.
What do you got up? What are you pulling up here, Pat?
Warhammer Age of Sigmar? Or whatever.
Yeah, I've heard of this game. I've heard it's dead, but I've heard of it.
I was just like in the more section.
Add another
I was
one
looking
to
around.
the list.
Yeah, the World of Warcraft TCG, that one's dead. I've heard I've actually
I have
heard
a
that
bunch of those. I don't have any sealed, but I have a bunch of those.
I've heard the World of Warcraft card game is a good I've heard there's good inspiration for us for Commander raids.
I have some of those raid decks, which is essentially Commander raids.
Exactly. And people are saying to like I should be looking at the Commander or I should be looking at the raid decks to give us inspiration of what
I have at least one. I have the Ixia one. I don't have the Molten Core. But it's kind of cool, and they have like I wish they would show you what's in the box because they're actually really cool. They have like treasure packs in them.
That chart looks so bad, but it's only $1. Like
yeah,
scroll
like this is super deceptive.
I'm like, oh my god, those knives!
Oh my god, it dropped so much. $1. But like if you maybe you can find a video like on YouTube of what's actually inside of it.
There we go, $15 or best offer. You could probably offer this guy like $10 and he'll take it.
Right.
Please take this trash off my hands.
Just somebody take it.
This dead game. I want to know if Rudy released a video.
And this is what I'm saying. Find somebody to play World of Warcraft TCG with you. And that's the problem when these games die.
Well, I mean, honestly,
you should see MetaZoo. There's boxes of MetaZoo for like $20. It's hilarious.
Oh, I thought you were going to buy the Rudy $99 special.
I thought the playmat would be worth more. I did the math. It's like basically market price buying his stuff, but you save tax and shipping, I guess. But if it was so cheap that I couldn't pass it up, I would have done it, but it's not. If you look up booster boxes of UFO, they're $20 a piece. I would only do it out of speculation. Keep it sealed. Like I already have a box of the Cryptids MetaZoo stuff, and I didn't open up any of that. I did plan to, but
so many different aspects of this game. Like the gameplay itself was never driving to me. I've
never played it. I don't know.
I mean, Coach has great comments.
I've probably seen like 2 hours of gameplay of it, and it's super meta. You know, if you're wearing a hat, it gets like 1 dodge or some shit like that, and it just seemed so dumb to me.
You can get 12 boosters for $230.
But
I feel like we should have Coach on as a guest because he just has amazing comments. You know, he says he sees a small flood of them. I'm not even going to begin to predict what kind of supply we're going to see hitting the market again with the Fallout boxes. And he talks about the nature of, you know, we like to speculate on cards. I really don't like speculating on cards. I do like collecting them, but I don't really enjoy the speculating aspect. But to be quite frank, if we don't talk about the financial value of the cards, then we would rapidly just go through a set list, especially on like the spoiler season, and then there wouldn't be much to talk about with Magic. Like for each set, you would only have anything to talk about during release.
Star Wars Unlimited is such a dumb looking game to me.
I agree with you that I don't like the art direction they took on it.
Why, like, I understand the concept of like, this is a flying card, so we move the text box to the opposite end so it looks different. Yeah, it also looks dumb as shit to me.
I don't think it looks terrible.
Not a fan. And it's
wait, there's another flying card up above it. Go up above. Go scroll up. Those two are flying cards. Stop. That purple one just under your cursor. No, there's a flying card. That's a flying card.
What didn't you like about this?
So like on these, because they're like flying cards or something, they move the text box to the top.
No, that's not why.
I don't think that's why.
Oh, it's just weird.
It's just like a special. It's like a showcase version of the card. It's called Hyperspace, I guess.
No,
I don't know. In
because
parentheses, it says hyperspace. What does that mean?
I know. But go back down, scroll down to the purple
Oh,
one.
and also
These
says
two say
hyperspace.
hyperspace as well, and they're not like that.
Oh, yeah.
Same
The
as
one says
yeah.
showcase, but that one's sideways and full art.
So I don't
think
know.
it's a good
We're just kind
example
of
of, like,
guessing. But
when you make too many variations of cards, it's bullshit. Like, as I was looking at some of the Fallout singles, right? And you've got regular version, extended version, borderless version. You've got regular foil and surge foil. So you're looking at what, 6 different combinations? Oh, and then not foiled at all. So like 9 different combinations you can have on a card. Like, that's just getting ridiculous. And this same thing, like, not.
Pat, how much did you sell?
I already
your Mickey
made
Mouse
my.
for?
I
What's
already
that?
made my.
How much did you sell your Mickey Mouse for? The Gen Con promo?
300.
Yeah, they're like not that. Was yours 10?
Yeah.
Is that the one you sold? Okay, maybe if it's 10, it's worth money, but they're not selling very nicely. I thought they would be way more. It's so weird to me. Is the card just shit?
Yeah,
I've
it's
never even read
not
the
like
card.
it's not a great card. I don't think it's easy any play.
It's a 2/7 bodyguard for 6. It is inkable. All for one. Your other musketeer characters get +1, whatever that means. Attack.
No, it's not a great card, but I think ultimately, like in the end, there's only so many of those that ever came out. You could only get them for 4 days in the history of the world. So, what did we come up with a number? It was like 15,000, was something like that. That we thought there's between 15 and 25,000 of those cards in existence. So,
Yeah, I need to get a group
ultimately,
of cards.
if the game survives, it'll be a very rare card to own.
It's funny looking back to like when Matt and I and you, Bob, as well, when we were all playing Star Wars Unlimited and the promos like that the dude would hand you at the end, because like at the end of the convention, whoever was staffing that was just more and more bored, because you just sit there and people play the game for 15 minutes, then hey, give me my card, and then they leave. Yep. And the kid just sits there on his phone. Then he gets interrupted. Oh, okay, here you go, back on his phone. And then realizing now in retrospect that he probably had like $3,000 worth of promo cards sitting next to him.
Well, he had way more than that. At the time, they were selling for like 500 to 1,000, depending on the grade.
It's one of those times where it's like, hey, man.
You're talking about the Lorcana. I think he's talking about the
Star Wars Destiny.
Yeah,
the Star Wars one.
I don't know about the Star Wars one
because there was a stack of them, probably,
or Star
thicker
Wars
than a can.
Look, that gets into the whole issue of like kind of like what you're even looking for the Fallout thing. Things are worth what people are willing to pay for them, and timing matters. And trying to get it, capture at the peak of it, because like you said, when that Elsa was $1,000, right? I just didn't want to sell it, and then it dropped all the way down to like $375 or something.
Yeah,
and now it's back up to $900, and I don't really care. It doesn't matter. I'm still not going to sell it. So
I get that.
It's
I don't, but
I know you don't.
He's got enough money; he doesn't have to, and he likes it. It's a
no. I get that, but like he could have sold it at 2,000 or sold it at 1,000, and then bought 3 of them, and then have triple the money.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't have the one that Sherry opened.
Right, like, and I get that. I just don't love as much as Bob has the capacity to. So, like, I respect that.
Maybe I'm just dead inside.
I realize, like, that I was just gonna say, I realize I'm a bit dead inside. So, like,
and I'm not trying to bash you guys, but of the 3 dudes sitting on this screen, which one has a permanent woman sitting at home waiting for them?
No, man.
It's because I treasure the things that I have with her and the things that she's done for me, that the financial value is far secondary to the memories that I make with her. So
I'm just saying that she was on board with selling it. So
okay, but the fact that I'm not on board with selling the thing that's special to me because of the memory with her probably is part of what makes her like being with my fat ass.
Maybe.
That would be an interesting experience. Matt and Bob both pick a sealed box of Lorcana and Magic, and then after a couple set times, a
I
year
think
later.
you're saying Magic
it's
versus Lorcana.
Oh, okay, yeah. I wonder what the
What does
as
that
in
mean?
return rate. Bob opens a box of Lorcana, Matt opens a box of MTG, and see who gets a better return.
Well,
It'd probably make for a great video, but it's not worth the $600 in loss of value in both of the boxes to do that.
Karlov Manor so damn cheap though, Bob.
I'll say Karlov Manor is only $108. I mean, I got a box sitting on the
Karlov
shelf.
Manor versus Into the Inklands, or
Yeah.
to be fair, it'd have to do it with the Rise of the Floodborn. Now that one has very little value in the box. But those would be the two most comparable, like a shitty set versus, I guess, of the three, you'd have to say the Rise of the Floodborn's the shitty set if you look at the card values.
Yeah, I don't know how good Lorcana is doing. I haven't ever looked at.
So if you just if you go to Lorcana, no, right there you go.
I'm working on it.
Right. And then you just organize by price, high to low. You have it low to high. You have it low to high.
Yeah, I also have it on everything too.
Okay. So the most expensive, the way I look at it, if you go up to the top, the most expensive card that you can get is $271. That's your best possible pull, right?
Yeah, right. Just pay an extra $100 and try and pull all the cards.
That's a terrible idea. Terrible idea.
A scene from a Tolarian Community College sketch. Like, just buy another box. You could pull the cards and Sling It pays for itself.
No.
So here's my problem. If I'm going to complete a set, I have so the way my brain works, and I don't know why. If I were to try to complete a set, it would mean nothing to me if I just bought the cards and they arrived and the set's complete. But it would mean way more to me if I opened it all. I just enjoy creating the thing, like in Magic, or like in Path of Exile, or in or even in Last Epoch. Like, I enjoy making the gear way more than I enjoy buying it off the auction house.
So how many cards are worth more than $5 in the entire set?
Excluding these enchanted ones or inclusive?
Excluding, because
it's just not realistic. Yeah, 6.
Wow, that's
okay.
really bad.
So let's go to Into the Inklands.
What's the pull rate on enchanteds?
So you see the enchanted Into the Inklands already. There's a $370 card, but that's the one that had the misprint. So maybe it's just as bad. But if you go down below, it's also pretty bad, but not as bad.
I really like the style on these. Oh, this has definitely got a bit more value in it. And maybe it's just because it's newer. This is
they're better cards.
Yeah, they're pushing power already, Bob.
The first chapter has got way more value. So don't count the oversized cards, but there's only 8 above $5.
Yeah.
Right? And then you go to the first chapter, and it's significantly different.
That's the kind of strange thing about Karlov Manor. There actually is a decent number of cards that are worth money. It's just, it feels like it's hard to pull the cards. It's very weird.
13 over 5.
Mm-hmm.
But the box is just so much more expensive too. So
it is.
Yeah.
But also the enchanted foil multiplier is way higher as well, though.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing in play boosters is like a super high value card. Like, even like a foil Vein Ripper is only going to be like, I don't even know if they're $30 now. Plus, people don't like the foils because they fucking Pringle.
I agree with you, Coach. And I did open 2 of the boxes for 2 boxes. Yeah, I've opened 2 boxes plus about another 13 packs. That's all I've opened out of Lorcana.
And so Coach, what's that? Here's another big problem. Analytically, if we look at just the analytics, box openings on our channel do horribly.
Oh yeah.
Every other video outperforms it. My deck techs outperform it. Pat's guides outperform it. I'm sure I
those
can make a
broccoli
video
videos.
on literally anything else, and it would outperform the box
I think
openings. People
even
just
my
don't give a
storage
shit.
ideas video outperforms them.
Yeah, they just don't. They're easy to do for me, and I enjoy doing them. But like financially
There's
and
no
analytically,
ROI.
they're just a big waste of
Okay,
Yeah.
time
and what's
money.
the most expensive videos to make, like by a landslide?
Box opening videos.
Okay,
That's
exactly
what I'm
my
saying.
point.
Financially and analytically, they're not good.
And like the
Nope.
only
Our channel wasn't built on box openings, so like people
you know,
don't
Thank
come to us
God.
for it.
Yeah.
It makes an excellent point though. If they're that financially horrible for us and there's no ROI, think about that for all the non-content creators and
Well, then
the
you got
horrible
so many
experience
fucking
they're having.
cards just sitting around too, and it becomes a huge issue. I mean, what I talk with
dude, I
Tom,
have
right?
so many
Pack opening
cards.
addict, and if he's doing a box or two per day on average, what are you just throwing everything away, or are you actually keeping all that stuff?
Probably.
Are you sorting it? Like, I do not take like an ADD medication, so I don't understand how he's got the attention span of that or the time. Like, it's just ridiculous. And I wouldn't be enthused in doing it. I think that's part of the reasons why Lance just sits and listens to music the whole time he's doing his show. It's like, just opening a bunch of cards over and over and over.
No, I would love it. I would love opening packs for other people.
Same
If
damn
anybody
one,
wants
too.
me to open their boxes, I'm 100% down. I'll do those all day. It's just I don't know if it's guilt free. It's not guilt free. It's there's no loss to you. Like the only I mean maybe a little bit of time because you have to ship the cards to the people, but like
okay, but the loss is you're passing it off to your viewers.
well, that's what I said. It's predatory, but I didn't want to use that necessarily.
I agree 100%. That's why I have. Like I said, you guys can open everybody's boxes. I'm staying the hell away from that because it makes me feel bad for people that the only part that's being gained is us getting some mileage, which is terrible, out of opening shit for people, and the people that we're opening for are getting screwed in the pooper.
Well, they for some reason the way that I was explained, the way they was explained to me was that they enjoy opening the packs with people.
Oh, serialized.
So I was just like, I guess, but you're not actually even opening the pack. You're just like watching it happen. I don't understand it at all. I've only done it one time, and it was for charity.
I had Rudy open Ikoria for me once, but it was also like a way for him to plug the channel too, my channel back before I started doing this with you guys. But
and how did that work for you?
It's kind of interesting to have it memorialized in a certain way, and then just also having a video of it. Yeah, that's kind of cool. But in the long run,
something cool happens, sure.
I know. I'd rather interact with our audience in a multiplayer format. You know, get on Last Epoch, run some echoes together. Yeah, that would be fun. You know, start a Minecraft server, play with people in that way. I think that would be a better way to interact with the community, and it's way less impact on my desk space. I'd rather host a Discord server.
Yeah, I enjoy the Discord server. I would like to be more interactive with it. I
want to play more Command and Raids with people. I've really enjoyed playing last night.
Oh,
we played. I don't know if you told the people. We played with
we didn't. I don't want to name. I don't want to name who we played with.
Okay. I already said it, but
hopefully I talked over it.
It was a good time. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Sorry if I get a bit too loose. Friday night and all that. My bad.
My work night was not fun.
Oh.
But it is what it is. Some nights are easy, some nights are hard.
Yep. I feel that.
And that is fine by me. As long as every night isn't hard.
$4,000 for a Tundra. Click buy.
Oh yeah, add to cart, right?
I would love that, dude. Oh, I remember. I could have got one of those for like $15.
Get a damaged one for 26. Duh, smart money,
dude. I remember that was like the very first one. I could have got a Beta Tundra for $15 back when I first started.
So much movement on this chart. This is such helpful market information. TCG player.
But look, it's surprising. Somebody just bought one, right? What's crazy is they have the
month ago.
data, the sales data from a year ago. No, that's not. That's wait, what? What?
This is a month ago.
February
and
10th.
This is
It's only 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So how is that price from just 3 months ago? Like something's off there.
Yeah, I was like the chart.
How is that
Because
chart
those are heavily
flatline?
played. Those are heavily played.
How is it?
I have to imagine.
Yeah, but how is
the
it
chart doesn't
flatline when you
show-
look at the price?
Because
There's just not enough data.
No,
like,
the chart
probably
probably
for
just
their
doesn't show
charting
all the.
purposes.
It doesn't show all of the.
It would just be 3 points.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah,
make
but
it
it's
shorter.
still significantly different. It's half the price
Can
of
you
the
click
one.
on the? What happens if you click on the cogwheel? I've actually never clicked that.
I don't
You
know.
click the cogwheel?
This is jacked either way. Here's an idea: 38 cents.
No, can you click the?
Yeah, I
cogwheel?
agree with you. And the only way I would ever buy those kind of cards is if I was like a billionaire. That like I'd have to hit the lottery to feel comfortable enough buying that.
I fucking wouldn't. Like I don't even
Dude,
think I
right
would.
there,
If
you know that's the first booster box I ever bought and opened.
Tempest.
Well,
Oh.
actually, yes, you're right. It's kind of confusing. It's one of those two. I don't know which one was first.
If I hit the
But yeah.
lottery, I would probably buy one box of every set that's ever came out, and then I would open them all on channel. That's probably what I would do, depending on how much the lottery was for.
Well, you can't because you're never going to be able to find an alpha box.
Money talks, man. If you hit the lottery, you can do whatever you want.
No, they're just not out there. Like try to find one even for sale.
Yeah. I think if you put out some standing offer, you know,
That's what I'm saying. Like
a
money
bounty,
talks.
say, you know, I'll give somebody $1 million for.
But it would be
an alpha
amazing
box.
how much you wouldn't give a shit about any of these if you hit the lottery. Like your interest.
Well, that's why I would do it because it'd be fun to do.
No, what I'm saying is you would look at it and go meh. And now what would be fun to do is like yachting and jet setting and
No,
Rolexes and
I wouldn't.
yeah,
do
I'm
any
just
of
telling
those
you.
things.
Buying
Okay.
land in China so you can start a factory where you make T-shirts. Like
Or I make my own boxies. I make my own.
Yeah,
That's
right.
more-
I want to
I-
buy
you
a
know,
printer.
Honestly,
I want to buy a
if
printer
I was gonna
till
get into
the day it's done.
if I was going to get into that sort of thing, I would look at setting up like places to play rather than just an LGS because we complain that they have to worry about their financial model and set up play centers across the U.S. where
Mhm.
people can come play. It'd probably be adult themed, so no one under the age of 18, and it would be or probably 21, and alcohol served and food. And,
Dancing ladies in cages. You know.
In cages.
well, no,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I mean, it
we
would
We got to
be
keep all these
with,
gender
like,
games
neon
away
lights
from the
and
girls.
everything,
That
yeah.
makes sense.
it would be similar to something like what we would experience
Gentlemen's
going to like a Gen Con.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Matt. Gentlemen's club. I was thinking
Gentlemen's
Gen
clubs for card games. I like it.
Con. Why are my cards so sticky? And that's why you buy sleeves, guys.
Why did the game take 4 hours? Just like they were too distracted.
Staring at this chick with a stab wound.
They just start playing because they're bored and there are a bunch of nerds around. They're like, all right, well, I guess the girls are going to start playing Magic as well.
Man, speaking of nerds loving games, we got this Weiss Schwartz stuff. Man, people love this.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I'm not a fan of the waifu stuff. What's
I like
funny
Waifu stuff, but I don't
is
get it.
like I watch a lot of the anime that is featured in some of these sets, right?
Yeah.
That time I got reincarnated as slime. That's a funny show. It's
Slime Man.
yeah. But to go and just take those characters and just turn them into like uncomfortable imagery. Like that's all I can say
Uncomfortable?
about it for the most part. Like, it's
I'm
rare.
super comfortable around all of the big booby waifu girls. They're all fine by me.
Oh, with that angle, that reminds me. We tried to start watching The Last Airbender on Netflix. Wow, that show's
Yeah.
bad.
My sister says it's really good. She likes it.
I've
God.
heard so many mixed
Both
reviews.
of my sisters like it. She said the first 3 episodes are kind of they're not like that good, but then it like gets way better, I guess.
I couldn't even make it through the first one. I looked at Sherry and was like, after 20 minutes, because she's like, "Oh, our friends are into this. So, they watched a couple episodes." I'm like, "All right, we'll try it." And I like the M. Night Shyamalan way better than these, and I turned it off.
Wasn't
Like,
that
do we have to keep
horrible?
watching? And she said, "Nope."
For sure. I was never really into the show, even when I was a kid, like the original cartoon series. It's fine. I started.
Yeah, I thought it was okay,
rewatching
but
it.
I never watched all of it.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I thought it
watched
was
some of
okay.
it.
Yeah, honestly, Samurai Jack, way better. Spend your time watching that. Great
I don't like
soundtrack,
that one either.
beautiful animation, good story. But the Bleach thing, I loved Bleach when I was a kid. Seen it a couple of
Yeah.
times, pretty much the whole series. And man, the
Wow,
movie they
that's a
made.
first. That's what it took to get you to speak up like a somebody.
Yeah,
Bob's
M.
hot
Night
take.
Shyamalan. That's what I'm saying. I've heard that was one of the worst live action films.
I like
in
it.
creation.
I was okay with it when it first came out, and I still like it. I think it's okay.
I've never watched it.
I'm a fan of bad movies, but I don't think that's why you enjoyed it, was it?
No,
Dude,
I
the
liked it.
Dragon Ball Z live action was so bad.
Trash. Yeah.
I watched it. Well, I scrubbed through it. I didn't watch it. I just scrubbed through it. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is actually horrible.
Sherry
honestly,
Vegas
it's
picked
one of those
some movie
moments
not too
where,
long ago. It was really bad. So if you're still watching Sherry Vegas, what was the one that you picked that was a real stinker? It was bad. This is bad. I was like, you don't get to pick a movie
Death Note,
next.
too. Death Note was terrible live action. I mean, the anime was bad too. So slow.
I've heard Death Note was one of the best animes in history. I've never seen it, so I don't know.
Oh, dude, no, thumbs down. Like, good concept, but it should just be like a 90-minute movie. It should just be an OVA.
Oh, I know what it was. It was that
Entire
Leonardo
synopsis.
DiCaprio. It was that Leonardo DiCaprio movie on Apple TV with Robert De Niro. Something Killing of the Flower Moon or something about the Indians with the oil fields down in Missouri or wherever the hell. Oh gosh. What? It was bad.
Horrible.
I was like, oh,
Sounds like one of those talkie films.
It was just it's
what was the other guy's name?
Robert De Niro.
De Niro.
Oh.
You're just gonna type in oil fields?
Killers of the Flower
Killers of
Moon.
the Flower Moon.
Oh.
Oh my god, it was bad and slow and just like, just what an awful, feel bad, slow.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 93%, Metacritic gave it 89.
Oh my god! All right, you watch it then. That's what I'm saying. We watch it. I'm like, oh my god, this thing's terrible.
See,
I'll tell
like
you
I
what,
watch purposely bad movies though, like Demolition Man. It's a terrible movie. Original Judge Dredd, terrible movie.
Yeah, but those are like cheesy.
Oh wait,
kinda
Alpha
cult
Clash is on
classics.
TCG now?
Yeah, dog. That's why I'm looking at this. I thought you
When
get a
was
kick
this?
out of it.
This is new.
Oh,
That's fantastic.
yeah, good for them. It's like a thing.
That means the game's doing good enough because I mean
They got singles sales. Like some people have got
Alpha
stuff
Clash MetaZoo Part 2.
I know.
So
way.
Matt,
Alpha
does
Clash
that mean
is
we're
so
gonna
much
do a
better.
box opening series?
I have two more boxes of Alpha Clash. I've already opened one on the channel, I think.
The
I definitely
artwork
filmed
looks
one.
cool. Again, same problem. Why you got to make the text so small? I'm getting to be older.
I'll say they're way more appealing than your other game, the card look.
I enjoyed Alpha Clash. It's a fun game. It's head to head, so like there is some bit of I think there is support for multiplayer, but I don't remember if there is or not.
But the promo is $5 cheaper than the regular card.
Sure. Maybe the promo was free. Here Comes the
Maybe
Boom
they
is one of the
printed,
best cards in the game so
25,000 of
far.
them.
It's like the board wipe of the game.
Deal 5 damage to all Clash cards. Yeah.
And what's really cool about Here Comes the Boom is there are some cards that want to be damaged. They have like a kind of an enrage mechanic where like when they get damaged, something happens. So like you play a bunch of those cards, and then you play Here Comes the Boom. Not only do you wipe the other side of the field, you also like juice your creatures, and then you like just stomp their face in. It's pretty good. Yeah, the game is interesting. I'm glad to see it's on TCG Player. That means it's doing decent enough.
Trigger.
Maybe we should talk about what's that one it's a popular video game, and I just showed you guys a board game recently. Sent you the link.
Diablo?
No.
Oh.
Damn it.
It's not Altered because we talked about that last week.
No. It's a board game, and it was a video game. It was a popular video game. Shit, I deleted it. I linked it in our chat.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like a Fallout-ish style game or something. What the hell is my deleted trash? Because they just announced
How long ago did you link it in our chat?
like this week.
So there's the $1 million MetaZoo loss.
It's so many pictures of Magic cards. If only we had been making a
Mass
channel.
Effect? Yeah, Mass Effect.
You know, I kind of do miss the buy, sell, shred segment as well, Coach. I was
forgot
thinking
about
about
that.
that the other day.
Okay, that's easy for me. So I would buy Lorcana, sell Magic, and shred everything else.
And shred MetaZoo.
I would
There you go.
I would
Done.
shred Lorcana, buy MetaZoo, and sell Magic the Gathering.
What?
I would
That's
shred
like the worst
PC.
of all possible worlds.
And I
Ooh,
would
let's
be a
see.
millionaire.
Buy more VR development. Sell
No,
TCGs.
No. AI development. AI is the future.
AI is the future. This whole program was brought to you by AI.
Yeah, we're all AI.
Honestly. Shred every dead
One of these
TCG.
days, we should let AI tell us how to do our podcast, just out of curiosity.
Oh, that'd be great. Do that now.
No, we're gonna do it live. We'll do it
Why
next
not?
week. Well, 2 weeks. Yeah, no,
Dude,
next week.
We're already at time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why would we do it now? We're at time. No,
Because-
save it for next week. We'll do the entire podcast based on what AI tells us to do. So we're gonna. What I would like to do is I'm gonna ask it to give us an outline of everything we should talk about in TCGs.
Oh shit, Pat, you didn't see this, buddy.
What did I see?
This is your name signing off. I mean, it makes sense. But you said broadcast. You should have said.
Private
You
chat.
should have said podcast. It thinks you're like a radio show now.
I sent you a link in the private chat, Pat.
There we go.
Oh my god, that's wordy for a sign off.
Everything it does is wordy. I have to constantly tell AI to just
If
1
you
to
don't
2
like-
sentences because
Oh,
every
yeah.
time it's long as fuck.
Oh,
tacos sound great.
Oh, bro. Yeah. Killing me.
I had pizza the other day.
Oh,
I'm on a keto diet, but I had pizza because pizza, and delicious.
A Fallout
So there's more.
series miniature
Hold on.
set.
Interesting.
There. Look at that link.
Oh, these are cute. And then what? You paint them yourself or something?
Yeah, but click on the link I gave you because apparently there's a board game for it.
Wasteland Warfare, huh?
So, no, read it. Read it in your radio voice up at the top. They're little. That's not as long as
Fallout
AI.
Wasteland Warfare. Players build their own crew from a wide range of factions, allies, and iconic characters from the Fallout series. Play through a solo campaign or set up AI forces as a third party in your player versus player or co-op games. Check out the collectible miniatures, dice, character sheets, free PDFs, and accessories.
Buy now.
Hosted by Modifius. Fallout
Modifius.
the series miniatures set.
Modifius?
Modifius.
Modifius. It's better than Leftifius.
Interesting.
Dude, I'm so excited making the Master Transcendent Commander.
So it's essentially like Warhammer 40K, but in Fallout world.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
that
guys see
is
this?
kind of cool.
Where's this at?
I'd love to
How do I-
see. I follow these guys on YouTube called the Angry Joe Show, and they've
Oh.
been getting into a bit more tabletop stuff. And I could definitely see them playing this. They're huge nerds.
Ooh.
Mid-April 2024, it appears.
That's just for this little box of miniatures. But that's just the expansion. I wonder what Nuka World is.
Right.
Or maybe that is the expansion. So apparently there's like a Fallout board game.
Great British pounds.
Oh,
yeah, it's got a whole bunch of like terrain and stuff.
You gotta change your currency at the top of the screen. It thinks you're some Brit.
USD, baby.
Dollarinos. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. I mean, just as like something cool to have on a shelf. I was actually looking at 3D printers for a while this morning online and just some review shows and stuff. I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna get a 3D printer.
I've got 3 of them.
If you put your TCGs in the same hand as your taco, that's a bad idea. I do not recommend that, folks.
Yeah, right. What's the back going on?
Dude, this guy, you guys familiar with this guy?
The Master Transcendent.
Yeah, he's so
you like him.
good.
He like makes people put stuff in graveyards and then takes it, don't he?
So for just tapping him, no cost, put target creature card in a graveyard that was milled this turn onto the battlefield under your control. It's a green mutant with base power and toughness 3/3, and loses all their creatures and colors.
Yeah.
What's crazy about this?
Mothman deck?
Yeah, he's the alternate commander in the Mothman deck. Yeah. So what's crazy about this is that if you have any creature that mills, and if you have Intrude Alarm out, every time you reanimate a creature, it untaps them, so you can just reanimate another creature. So you in theory could reanimate everybody's deck on your side of the field.
Yeah, but they're all just 3/3 generics.
Yeah, but they have no they're milled. They're dead. So who cares? And this guy's not even out yet. I don't even know what set he is. What set is this? Bloomburrow? This guy's bonkers.
Yeah.
Return all lands from your graveyard to the battlefield, tapped.
It better be good for what, 6?
Yeah, but you just reanimate them. So you play Golgari, flood your graveyard, reanimate this guy, get all your lands back, trigger a shit ton of landfall. So you do like a reanimator landfall theme. It's so good. Because there's plenty of Jund decks that do like sacrifice. It's like landfall Jund. Like throw this guy in the landfall Jund. Oh my god, you're just popping off. I don't know if he's gonna stay $50, but he's definitely gonna be good. And you see what they're doing here?
38 cents.
You see what they're doing here? I don't know if you heard about that. In Bloomburrow, they're changing enter the battlefield to just enters. But yet leave the battlefield is still leave the battlefield. Why not change it to leaves? Anyways,
because they can leave. Because they can leave they can leave your command zone. They can leave the battlefield. They can leave your deck.
Mm-hmm.
But they can also
only
enter
one enters.
You can also enter the graveyard, and it also can enter your library.
I see the logic loophole here, and I think
I don't see entering. I don't ever see the verbiage enter. It's always put into graveyard or shuffled into deck. Not
Pat, give me a direction for your deck. What am I doing here? Not right now, but like tell me where do you want this deck to? What do you want this deck to do? You never really did tell me.
Win.
Yeah, right.
You just wanted to be multicolored good stuff? Is that it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I didn't make much of a design for it. It's just
I know.
My brain, like normally my brain functions like I need a theme to like build a deck around. I can't just like put in cards. Like, to me, this looks very fragmented.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't like spend any time actually designing this deck. Okay. The rats deck I made like is actually functional. That's why
you told me to do a deck. You told me to do a deck tech on this, so that's why I was like, okay. But then I like started looking at it, and I'm like, what does he want to do? Like he's just doing, like I would take out.
I put a Luna in there.
Like immediately, I would take out Elvish Mystic. I would add in Delighted Halfling, and then what'd you say, a Luna?
A Luna Apex. Something or other.
Is it Luna?
ILL? ILL or IL?
Luna.
There you
Apex
go.
Apex of Wishes. That's not the one I clicked.
Yeah.
So we got to grab Mythos of a Luna. Where's Mythos?
Live deck tech. So Coach asks, have we
The
ever
fuck was
ordered from
Mythos?
Beetle and Grimm? He was looking at the Ravnica game, the Case of Three Blade Knife they have for sale. He
sorcery.
played the Clue edition last weekend. When we were
What'd you
at
think of
Gen
the Clue
Con,
edition?
Matthew Lillard was there with Beetle and Grimm. You know,
Not
doing his thing,
not
kind
Mythos.
of, you know, hawking his
No, I
wares.
took it out because it was not the right one.
They had,
Whenever this creature mutates, no, we don't need mutates.
they had some really cool stuff.
Dude, you didn't even read what it does.
I don't care. It's mutate. No other card in this deck mutates. Why would I have one mutate card in the deck?
Read what it does.
Yeah, but as far as Beetle and Grimm is concerned, I've heard really good things about their products. They do a lot of D&D things like modules and books that I think I've.
They had some crazy cool stuff when we were at Gen Con. They had like crystal dice and stuff. Because the new expansion for when you can go into space in D&D, I forget what that stuff's called. But they had a new expansion where you could like fly out into space and stuff. And they had, I think it was a $300 collector's set of just like specialty manuals and stuff they had made. It was like in a leather bound carry case kind of deal. Really high class stuff for sure, but you're paying for the quality. And I have not done the Clue edition thing yet. I've heard good stuff.
It looks really fun. I watched.
So many people are talking shit about it. I'm like, I don't understand it. Like, oh yeah,
it looks
like
fun.
Who was it? It's like the Magic historian talking about like it's the worst Magic product ever made.
He
blah
says
blah
that
blah.
For every single video. Every video starts with like, it's the worst day in Magic ever. This new tragedy has befallen us as players.
Well, but I mean, he actually goes off. Well, he's also the one who talked about M30 that way too. And I'm like, dude, like, what kind of crackheaded shit? Like,
yeah,
whatever, bro. But it looks like it's a fun way, and other people. He's not the only one because people are only looking at it from a financial perspective.
Yeah, I mean, that's how most people interact with Magic the Gathering. I think in at least a large part. It's about the money.
I look at it as a low barrier to entry. It's like 40-something bucks, right? Like 49, 47, 49 bucks. That's not very expensive in today's world.
Right.
And you get a cool, unique take on Magic. Like, we need this kind of stuff unless you want Magic to continue down the same toilet bowl swirling rabbit hole that we're in.
Yeah, I watched Commanders. What is it? Star City Games Command
Quarters?
No. Is it Commander Versus? Okay, that's the one. Commander Versus did a Ravnica Clue edition, and actually it looked really fun. It does change the game a little bit, which is fine.
That's what they need.
Exactly. Yeah. What does Supreme Verdict do? So that wouldn't be very good.
Well, as thrilling as it is to watch you tune a deck live on a stream, Matt, we probably should look into wrapping this up if that's where we're at.
Sure.
Spare the audience.
Oh, they love it.
Oh, I'm sure. We haven't lost any viewers.
If I was like explaining what I'm doing, it'd probably be more entertaining. But
Coach says it's a great way to mix Clue and Magic the Gathering. Actually, the deck's kind of blue. But the bad way. I think it would be better with Jumpstart or more types of decks. You can play it with any decks.
And that's what I was saying before, that it doesn't matter if the product itself sucks. The important part is looking at Magic in a different way, opening it up to different ways of playing. And I'm glad that you say you can play it with any decks because of that very reason. If you could only play it with a Clue, then I would say it was terrible, right? Just like if you could only play Commander Raids with only Commander Raids cards. But it's meant to say, okay, I've got this vast collection of cards that now have a new life and a new meaning because there's a new way to play, just like with Commander Raids. So I'm in support of it.
Yeah, it's definitely something I think they need to lean into, and I think it was a good move for them, for sure.
Well, I think it was a bad financial move, and it's unfortunate because we've got to get, as a community, the Timmies to start looking at things in Magic outside of just the financial aspect of it. We've got to break away from that, or the game is ultimately doomed. Because all you're going to do is encourage WotC to lean into those bad practices that got us to where we are.
Yeah.
Omniscience. What a just dirty card.
Yeah, it's just kind of broken.
He just removed it.
Doesn't always go in.
It's 10 mana. It's not good.
Yeah. There's a reason it's really strong.
If it was like multicolored, it would fit the theme of the deck more. But like you're paying 10 mana, it's probably going to get counterspelled. You're not really playing a ton of counterspells.
Is that white? You have white? Then I would put Omniscience back in, but I would add oh god, the white one that lets you, when it dies, you go get any enchantment and put it up directly on the battlefield.
Mother.
No, it's not Mother of Runes. It's like the dirty old lady from Urza's Destiny.
Coach says that the clue game kind of forces you to attack and be aggressive to get clues for the mystery.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
And there is some strategy in like attacking, or like once you have like enough information, there's certain strategies in attacking different people. So like trying to get like attacks in based on that. Also blocking to prevent people from getting information from you if you've got specific cards that you want to try to hide away from people if you think that somebody's getting close to solving. I don't know. It looked fun.
Academy Rector.
Oh.
And then I would be putting I'd replace the tutor, the enlightened tutor. I'd probably replace it with the worldly tutor. So you guarantee to go get your Academy Rector, and then you're guaranteed like to go get your Academy Rector, and then to have a way to kill her off.
Oh, too bad this is on cast. This would be really good with this Galadriel guy or girl. If it wasn't on cast.
But I forget who I was playing against at one point. But they had a Galadriel deck, and it's very good.
What the hell? Put a one counter on each creature you control. Whenever another creature
really
enters the
strong.
battlefield, choose one. What the? This is insane. That automatically goes in. Dolphin Veto, fantastic.
Oh,
Pimpin'?
if you're gonna do that, then throw in the Skewed Swarm, baby.
Why would you use Skewed Swarm?
With her?
It's not a landfall deck.
Okay, but you're gonna go wide rather rapidly. She's a go wide kind of girl.
Yeah, but she's not the commander. Aragorn's the commander. If he wants to play multicolored good stuff, then this is just a good effect because like you're ramping, you're scrying, you're drawing, you're putting counters in your creatures. All of those are good. What? Yeah, Tulane's in there. It's right there. Oh. I agree with Tulane because you can return it to your hand and then like get the multi.
Well, what goes alongside Tulane then is AC, the Gyre Strait Tyrant.
Yeah, but it's also landfall, so.
Yeah, but so is Tulane.
Interesting having two different ways to win. We had a 4-player game, and I guess the mystery at 2 life points on a whim. The score is 0-2-2-6. It was even. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a point in the game, especially when you if you ever watch the Commander versus game, where like they get to a low life total to where they are like at the point where like they might as well make a guess because if they don't get it right, then they're gonna die anyways. It doesn't matter. So it's kind of like you try to make your best guess based on the information you have. If you lose, you didn't really lose anything because you can only make one solve guess, and once you make your solve guess, you can't make any guesses again. Which is a little. You get to look at the card, so you know who it is. So then it's like, if you play with people that can't keep their mouth shut, then they're going to ruin the game. I was actually surprised Stephen Green was able to keep his mouth shut. He hates secrets, but I guess when he's the one holding the secret, it's a lot easier not to like give anything away. I expected the moment he made his guess and was wrong, he was just gonna like give hints based on his reactions to the guesses, and he didn't. So I was proud of him.
Well, I think pretty long in the tooth on this one. You guys want to wrap it up?
Sure.
Well, hey, I did the thing, so
Okay.
might
Yeah,
as well.
you're gonna read AI. You're gonna read.
Yeah, right. ChatGPT helped me sign off from a live podcast about trading card games. So thank you all for tuning in to our live podcast today, diving deep into the world of trading card games. It's been an absolute pleasure sharing insights, strategies, and stories with y'all. Remember, whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, the thrill of trading card games is in the journey. It's like a cardboard odyssey almost.
True.
So make sure to keep shuffling, keep strategizing, and most importantly, keep having fun. Until next time, happy gaming and may your draws ever be in your favor. This is Cardboard Odysseys signing off. See you again next week, guys.
I would have said your name.
I was thinking about it. I was really, really thinking about it.
Does it know what Commander Raids is?